guys, welcome back for another video. Today's video I am super excited to just jump right in because it's actually going to really help me and hopefully give you guys some motivation and help during this busy holiday season. So today's video is going to be tackling my Christmas to-do list, and it's going to go over probably a couple days, we'll have to see, but I really have some pressing things that I need to get done with Christmas being just around the corner. So we are working on that today, and it's going to be a lot of like those things that just need done before December 25th. So I'm going to be working on Christmas cards, I'm going to be wrapping gifts, I'm going to be making applesauce, and I think I'm actually going to be giving like homemade canned applesauce and a loaf of sourdough bread as some gifts this year. Everybody does gifts a little differently, and sometimes it can get a little bit out of hand when everybody wants to be giving gifts, and so we have chosen not to participate in like every gift exchange that goes on this year in like extended family and stuff, but I do like to make them something special, whether it is like cinnamon raisin bread or just something like special, and package it really nice and cute for Christmas. And so I am doing up applesauce anyway, so I thought I'm gonna do some extra jars and probably end up giving that as a gift with, like I said, a loaf of sourdough bread or something like that. So we'll see, but I need to tackle all those things in the video today, and so I'm hoping that these give you guys maybe some Christmas gift ideas if you're like a last minute person and you need some easy ideas, or maybe just some motivation to sit down and work on those things that you know you need to get done and you're not quite sure how you're going to fit it in to an already busy schedule. So we are jumping right in and getting started. First off with the apples, I already actually cut and quartered them and then put them in a pot on the stove to soften. These apples are seconds, so there are some spots and things like that in, but that doesn't really matter because it's just going to be sauce anyways, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And so I have the first half softening in a pot on the stove with a little bit of water, and once that softens I am going to feed it through my food strainer. I actually found one just last week at a thrift store. It was something that I was wanting to purchase possibly next year for the canning season because you can use it for so many different things such as spaghetti sauce, applesauce, just like tomato, anything like tomato-y in general. And my mother-in-law has one, but I had never had one, and they're a little bit pricey, I guess you could say. I guess that's kind of a subjective term, but anyhow, so I found one at a thrift store and I was so happy. So we are going to be using it today instead of using a blender to make my applesauce. So now that that is started, we're just gonna wait for those apples to soften. I'm gonna work on some other things like Christmas cards, like wrapping some gifts that I have. So whew, all that being said, we are jumping right in, and I'm gonna kill some time on my apple soften with a couple of these other things that I can kind of work on and then put away and get back out again. So let's get started. You guys, get out your Christmas cards, get out your gifts, whatever you need to do, you can get on it, and hopefully we can get this done together. Okay guys, so here are my cooked apples, and I wish you guys could be here to smell them. They smell divine. I'm gonna try to pour off all the juice that I can so my apples sauce is not like super mushy, and I'm gonna save this juice and actually can it as apple juice. I've never done it before, but a friend of mine told me she did it, so we're gonna try and do that and see how it turns out. And then I'm gonna take the like apple part and we're gonna run it through the strainer in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and try to explain this to you as best as I can. If you're someone who has never done applesauce or never seen it made or anything like that before, I actually learned to make it from my mother-in-law, so this is going to be a pretty traditional Mennonite way of making applesauce, but I think this is pretty even across the board for how a lot of people do their sauce. So to start, I'm straining off the water off my apples. I added in a little bit of water when I cooked them just to keep them from burning, and I'm actually going to can this with some sugar as a faux apple juice. So I'm really using up all the parts of what I needed for this sauce and not letting much go to waste. So moving over here to make the sauce, this contraption that is on my table is called a food strainer or like a hand food processor. Oftentimes they're known as Victoria food strainers, but this one's not the Victoria brand, but it works the same way. And I actually found this at a thrift store, which was a great find. And so what you do is you put your soft cooked apples, peels, everything right in the top, and then you use the plunger to push down on that as you turn the handle. And what it's going to do is going to feed your soft cooked apples through the food strainer and separate the flesh from the peel. And so the one end is going to put out all your junk, your peels, all that kind of stuff on this end, and then into your bowl is going to come your fresh made applesauce that just tastes delicious. This really is a quick process when you take into consideration how much you get for it. And so after all the applesauce was strained through, I sweetened it to taste. It did not need much sugar, but just a little bit was good. And then I put it in jars because I was going to can this. You can freeze it as well, but I wanted to save my freezer room, so I am canning it here in some pint jars, and then I'm going to do some in quart jars at the end as well. I oven canned this sauce, and I will leave the directions for that down below in case you've never heard of that before. But before I canned it, I just wiped off the rims really well with a dishcloth, made sure there was nothing sticky that would prevent my flats from sealing well, and then I topped all my jars with flats and rings and got ready to put them in the oven. So I'm getting ready to sit down and do Christmas cards, and actually started yesterday, so I don't have quite everything to do yet. But I went through and did all the envelopes a while for our church. Actually, I think that's all of these. Wow, yeah, it is. So I need to put cards in these, so I think that's gonna be my first priority, is filling all the envelopes for our church, and then I'll move on to like family and friends and that kind of thing. Afterwards, each year I feel like my list for Christmas cards grows bigger and bigger, and it would be so fun if I could send one to you guys, especially those of you that I get to talk with like each week in the comments or all that kind of stuff. I enjoy that so much, but I know that's not possible, so I'll just show you what ours look like instead. So here is what ours look like, and I'm not sure if it'll focus, maybe if I set it in front of my face. They're just really simple. They just have a family picture on them, and the back is just like a plain holiday design. And I know people have all sorts of different places they order their cards from. I actually ordered mine from Walmart Photo. It's like the cheapest place I found, and because I do so many right now, I still kind of have a budget for them. Like, I can't just spend like $100 or more on Christmas cards, although that would be nice. But anyways, I find that Walmart Photo actually has some great designs. I ordered them around Cyber Monday, so I got a really good deal, and they're like the cardstock type photo. I really liked this design, and then it says blessings on the top, so just a nice kind of a Christmassy design, but it doesn't have to be just Christmas, you know, like just a winter, whatever, all that. Pause before I move on to the next portion of the video just to thank Dossier for sponsoring this week's video. If you have never heard of Dossier, they are a perfume company that creates such a wide variety of quality perfume. Their goal is really to create affordable perfumes that are based off of the scents of like designer ones, but you're going to pay a fraction of the price, and so you're not going to have near the money sunk into them, or you can actually, like I said, afford them. I am currently trying Dossier's Floral Ylang Ylang perfume. I think that's how you say it. And it smells so good. It's like a very classy, sweet floral scent. It's not kind of like the weird, nasty floral. It just reminds me of very classy perfume, something that is great for so many different occasions. A couple things that I really like about Dossier as a company is that they try to be as environmentally friendly and toxin free as possible in their perfumes. They also don't use colorants or dyes, UV filters, and none of that. And Dossier actually has a really cool thing. So I know buying your perfume online can be a little bit tricky and maybe even scary, but don't worry, because Dossier has you covered. They offer a risk-free system where you can return a full bottle of perfume if you've tried it and don't like it. And the cool thing about it is Dossier doesn't pitch those perfumes, they actually donate them to a charity, so they do get used. So that is a really cool thing. Their perfumes are 100% plastic free, so they come in a recyclable glass bottle, and their packaging is recyclable cardboard, so you're not dealing with plastic and all that kind of stuff. They really take pride in the quality of perfumes that they produce, even down to, I said, like their packaging. They have such a wide variety of scents that suit men, women, unisex. They have different scent families and just such a great array of things for so many different people. Right now they have some holiday sales going on, so I will be leaving their link down below in the description box. Make sure you check them out while they have these great deals going on. Use my code to stock up on some perfumes for you, your friends, your coworkers, anybody you need gifts for, and I'm sure you guys will love them and appreciate the company as much as I have. So big thank you again to Dossier for sponsoring this portion of the video. This recipe is going to be such a fun one to share with you guys, and this is such a cute Christmas holiday treat. And so what I'm going to do is I'm starting out with a mini muffin tin pan, spraying it well with some nonstick spray, and we are going to be making like edible little hot chocolate cups out of chocolate, sugar cookie, and a candy cane, and they are going to be so cute. So I actually had some sugar cookie dough in the freezer. You can use your favorite sugar cookie dough from the store, you can use your favorite homemade sugar cookie dough, whatever you prefer, but I had this in the freezer, so that's what I'm using. And I took a scooper, I think it's like about a tablespoon or so, and I scooped one ball into each of these little 24 muffin cups, and then I baked them according to the directions in the oven.
And it was on a Christmas night. You look just like your sweet mother dear, 28 years ago. We weren't prepared. Can anyone be for the greatest?
Once they were completely done baking, I took a little half teaspoon measurement and used it to make a small like divot, hole, crater, whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the muffin tins. And what this does is it's going to make it look a little bit like a cup. So you'll see here in a second what we're gonna do, but I just went ahead and did this to all of the cookies and then stuck them back in the oven for like 2 or 3 minutes to finish baking, to make sure that they were good and like thoroughly baked all the way through.
It was on a Christmas night.
So while my cookies finish up in the oven, I decided to go ahead and wrap some gifts. I found some really cute simplistic wrapping paper, not wallpaper, this year at Dollar General. So because I don't do a ton of gifts, I actually don't go through a lot of wrapping paper, but I had some really odd shaped things to wrap, so I was coming up with creative ways to wrap them. I also like using YouTube tutorials to figure out how to make your own bows out of the wrapping paper. It's less you have to buy and store, and I think it actually saves a little bit of money too. So that's a little tip, trick, or hack for you. In case you run out of Christmas bows, there's plenty of YouTube tutorials to teach you how to make your own beautiful bows out of some wrapping paper and tape.
To meet this newborn prize, and it was on a Christmas night. Yes, it was on a Christmas night.
So we are moving back to our edible hot chocolate cookie cups, and what I'm doing here is I'm going to melt some chocolate in this bowl. You can do this right in a kettle, but I did like a bowl on top of some hot water to really prevent the chocolate from burning or getting too hot. There's a name for this. I cannot remember what it's called. Maybe you guys can help me and leave it down below if you know what this type of like melting system is called. But anyhow, as you can see, my little cookie cups baked well. I got them out of the muffin tins, they cooled, and now I am adding a scoop of melted chocolate to those like little craters that you made in each of the cups and topping it off with a couple of these mini freeze-dried marshmallows, and it gives the look of a little tiny cup of hot chocolate. And then shortly here we're going to be putting handles on these cups, and you'll see how cute they look at the end. As easy as these cookies are to make, this part is definitely the most tedious. And for the handles of these hot chocolate cups, you need to take some mini candy canes. I use a scissors and I cut the hook off of the candy canes in a like cup handle style or fashion. So I kind of cut it at a slant so that I can adhere them to the sides of the sugar cookies. And excuse Zendaya, she was hanging out here with me too. And then I just dip the handle or the candy cane in melted chocolate and press it into the side of the cookie. And then I had a little system over that you can't see super well where I could lean the cookie up against the side till this chocolate dried, because you really need it to dry so your handles adhere on well. And they turned out so cute. These were actually for some kiddos at a Wednesday evening kids club, and they loved them and thought they were adorable. So these are a big hit. They also taste super yummy, and they're a fun little crafty Christmas treat to make. So my kitchen is a total disaster at the moment, but I got all my cookie hot cocoa cups done. They're sitting back here drying, finishing, whatever, and they were a lot of fun. I have quite a busy evening ahead because I need to head out shortly, and I have to make supper for my family that's gonna be here and all the crazy stuff. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me the past 2 days and tackling some of these kind of Christmassy things on my list that I needed to get done before Christmas gets here. Hopefully it gave you guys some motivation maybe to work on some things that you've been procrastinating on that you really need to get done. I'll leave all the information down in the description box about how I made these cookie hot cocoa cups, also how I canned my applesauce in my oven, and anything else that I might have said. I'll hopefully put it all down below for you guys. If I forget something, don't hesitate to comment and I will get back to you and update the description box so it is up to date for you guys. Thanks again so much for watching. You guys' support means so much to me throughout the entire year, but especially as you stick with me through the different seasons, I so appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope till I see you guys again in another video that you have a blessed week. Bye guys.